Hey everyone, it's BlueLizardJello and welcome back to my walkthrough of The Surge. Today we will begin our adventure into the newest DLC, the Good, the Bad, and the Augmented. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about what this DLC is because it is very different from their last DLC, A Walk in the Park. If you do want to skip ahead, I will put a timestamp in the comments and you can just jump ahead right into the gameplay. But this DLC, it's different in that it is not really part of the story. It's kind of just a little set of side missions that you can embark on, and you can start it very early. You can actually start it right here in the abandoned production, but you have to go to Central Production B and then come back if you want to start it this early, which is exactly what we're going to do. So what I've done was I actually started a brand new character. This is new game. I have cleared this first area. I have even killed packs, and we're going to be going into it as early as we can. Fairly low level, so if you want to take a look, not the right option. If you want to take a look at my stats, I do have a core power level of 27. I'm wearing the full Lynx gear. I love my Lynx gear. And I've only been using the one-handed weapons. And I'm going to be staying with one-handed weapons. Try and create more of a somewhat dedicated build this time around instead of spreading it all evenly. But I'm going to show you where you can enter the DLC. And I'm going to do that throughout multiple videos. In fact, there are 9 episodes within this DLC. In fact, you're going to be getting 9 episodes from me. So there will be 1 video per episode within this DLC. But it's not just going to be the DLC episodes, 1 per video. We're going to be talking about the entrances because there are multiple entrances to the DLC, not just here in the beginning. And we're going to talk about the different modifiers that are available to you in the DLC, but we'll talk more about those modifiers when we actually get there. So before we go too much in detail, let's get to the first entrance. And I will be skipping some of the enemies. I've already killed these 2 drones. But in order to access it, you do have to turn the power on in the basement behind where you fight packs. So here, we are just going to bypass some of these enemies. They don't really care about us. So down through this door that we unlock as a shortcut, here is the very first entrance. Anywhere where you see a testing chamber, this is an entrance to the DLC. If you're trying to access it as early as possible, though, you can't simply access it now or else you'll get this message.
What? He's already here. Welcome, Greenhorn. Everything in order? Excellent. I just gotta take care of some odds and ends before I can let you enter. Nothing untoward, you see. No violence, no brainwashing, no torture. Definitely no torture. I'll only need a minute. Skedaddle for now, won't you?
So I wanted to give you that dialogue because that's what you'll get if you try to enter it right away. You do need to go back to Central Production B. I think that the purpose was so that you would get your drone, but you can actually go right to Central Production B, get immediately back on the train here, and then you can enter the DLC. I am going to be heading into the next zone, getting my drone, and then coming right back. So I'm going to cut that part out, and I will see you at those testing doors.
Next stop, Central Production B. Personnel arrival.
Now that we have left the area and come back, you can see that there's no longer a circle around the door, so we can head in. And once we're inside, we'll talk a little bit more about the episodes, how the entrances work, and then also what you can expect if you are on New Game Plus or beyond.
Already here, City Slicker? Didn't think you'd make it this fast. Testing. Testing. Can anyone hear me? Oh, sorry about that. Didn't see you moseying around there, Tenderfoot. I'm the Supervisor, by the way, but you can call me Mr. Supervisor. We need a new marshal, you see. Someone who can save this wasteland in its hour of need. Oh, and don't worry about living up to my expectations. I'll make sure you get a first-class hanging either way.
So what we have here is the testing chamber. This is where we're going to access all of the different episodes as well as the modifiers for each of those episodes. What we saw up above is that there are 6 different entrances that are scattered throughout the game. Once again, anywhere you see the testing chamber, you'll be able to access this content. But if you're on New Game, like I am, you will only have access to certain episodes. For example, right now, if I were to approach that console, I only have episodes 1 through 3 unlocked. You unlock more as you get further in the game. Once you get to the nucleus, then you have access to all 9 episodes. But if you're in New Game Plus or beyond, right from the beginning, you do have access to all 9 episodes, but you don't have access to the modifier. You have to unlock the modifiers by playing through the different episodes with certain conditions. We'll take a look at those in a moment, but you do have a med station here. You also do have your gear assembly station, and then I pointed this out right over here on this table. There will occasionally appear some audio logs if you want to get just a little bit of dialogue. There really isn't much of a story here. It's mostly just some different arenas, some testing chambers for you to get some new loot. And speaking of loot, there is a lot of loot. There are over 30 pieces of new equipment. Now, some of them are just skins of other weapons we've already gotten, and then there's also 2 sets of every armor set that you can possibly get in here. We're going to talk more about that as we play. You're going to have to do some farming. You are going to have to do some farming, different episodes with different modifiers in order to get everything, but we should be getting all that within the next several videos. But let's take a look at the actual console. You can see here's the cowpoke guide. Let me close that. So once again, I only have episodes 1, 2, 3 available. This video is going to focus on episode 1. And then down here in the bottom left, you have this 4x4 square. These are the different modifiers. Now these are separated by rows and columns. You can only choose 1 modifier per row, but you can have 1 in each row, so a total of 4 modifiers per episode. Now, we don't have any because they are all locked, so we're going to have to beat episode 1 in order to continue, but a couple things to take note of. Once you complete a row, you also get the loot associated with it on the far right. For example, completing row 1 will get us the Golden War Axe. Completing row 3 will give us the Rest in Gold Pieces single rigged weapon. We can also get the Smiling Luchador or the Metavoltaic Injection Max. And then right now, just by beating episode 1, we'll get the Vital Boost. You can see if we switch it to episode 2, we get a Plasmic Omni Boost, which, by the way, is a new implant. There are a few new implants. We'll talk more about those as we get them. And here's another new implant, the Turbo Dynamic Capacitor. Every episode has its own piece of loot, and then the other loot that you can get, whether it be upgraded versions of the weapons or the armor, that happens as you add modifiers. You can see over on the right next to the reward summary, you have Frontier Gear, V2 Gear, Tech Scrap, and Components. Every time you add a modifier, your chances of getting the Frontier or just the lower end version of the good, bad, the augmented gear, that goes up, but also the V2, the higher end gear, those chances go up, and then you also get more tech scrap and more components that way. So, since we can't do anything else, we're just going to jump right into episode 1. It's not very long, but let's get this started.
Barrel chamber assembly initiated. Coal shoveled. War paint mixed, shaken, and stirred.
Also, I didn't forget to show you the implants. I can't believe I keep going to that menu, but pretty straightforward. A couple of health boosts, the Vanadium E-Cell for more energy, Voltaic Dynamo for extra energy gain. I have the Vital Injection for my quick health restoration, but then I have the Metavoltaic. Notice I again don't have an Omni Audit. I'm not too worried about their health. I am going to be focused on getting cuts because I want to get whatever gear is available, although there won't be much new gear available because I don't have any modifiers.
Warren was late. The Iron Horse had left the station, but the bandits had boarded their wagon just in the nick of time. They slaughtered everyone on board in cold blood. Even that poor, innocent ticket collector. Next time, he should get himself a watch, or at least a sundial.
So you'll get little snippets of story there. It's not very much, but we're going to drop down. Now, we have to watch out for this ghost train because that ghost train does do damage. So just take care of a couple of these drones. Now, there is an implant directly below us, so we'll have to go get that. Let's lure this one over here. You can see the enemies do take damage as well, though. So if you can lure them onto the tracks, not a terrible idea. As we kill enemies, and I am going to talk over the Supervisor sometimes, one of these train cars will pull ahead, allowing us to continue. You can actually make this jump, though. And there's actually one of the modifiers that will unlock if you do an episode without killing, I believe, 10 enemies. So you have to kill 10 or fewer. But what we're going to do is we're going to pick up this lucky coin. You can see we get a little tooltip. At the end of every episode, there is a boss, and as you collect lucky coins, it gives you more chances to kill the boss. One thing I didn't make mention of is that if you die on your way to the boss, that's it. You're done. You lose all tech scrap, you lose all equipment, you have to start completely over from nothing. So I am going to kill this drone very quickly. I'm going to pull him over here. Careful. By the way, if you didn't notice, I am using the Vibra Cutter, one of my favorite one-handed weapons that you get very early. Oh, don't fall off. But what I want to do is walk off here, and this is just to get this implant. It's nothing special. Just a sustaining array so we can maintain some of our energy. Wait for this exolift to come back. Another thing to note is because you are going to be farming these episodes, it does allow you to unlock shortcuts, but only in the second or further run through. In other words, the first time through, you do not have any shortcuts. They are locked to you. All right, perfect. This is good. So we do have an enemy here with one of the new weapons. Looks like this is the Rest in Peace. So I'm just going to focus on his arm. You can see it is a twin-rigged weapon. Back up. A couple more hits ought to do it. I'm getting plenty of energy. There it is. And sure enough, so we didn't get any Frontier armor, but we did get the single-rigged weapon, the Rest in Peace. Very cool. Kind of a coffin sitting on your arm. And actually, this guy has another one as well. But does he happen to have any armor? Doesn't look like it. So instead, you know what? I think we'll just focus on his arm again, because can't hurt to get more arm components as well as some more weapon upgrades. There we go. Oh, get the cut. Pick that up and get off the tracks. You do not have anything, so you know what? Might as well collect some headgear, I think. Watch it. Don't get caught in that. Oh, didn't even get the cut. Got a vanadium E-cell so we can maintain some of our energy. I'm going to store a drone charge here. Speaking of drones, ooh, does that guy? No, he doesn't have any headgear. See, as you add modifiers, these enemies will not only sometimes have the Frontier weapons, but they'll have the Frontier armor as well. Typically in this first episode, you'll get the Spirited armor. Oop. It's okay, because I have the Metavoltaic. Don't have to use one of my big heals. Watch it. Nope. If you want to fall off, that's fine. So we don't even have to kill this last enemy, but just for completion's sake, I think we will. And he doesn't even have any armor on his head, so this will be nice and easy. Get the cut just for the easy kill. And there we go. So the ghost train stops. We can hop down. There is the way forward, but there is an implant right back here. Tactile Omni Boost. Very good. Gives us some more proficiency. And now we'll continue on to the next area.
Warren felt as if the desert's scorching heat was punching him directly in his pretty little face. The sun was almost unbearable. He was sweating bullets. Bullets? Wait! Suddenly he wondered why he never brought his darn six-shooter to these fights.
What the Supervisor and the little prompt to watch that guy burn to death shows you is that in the sun, you take damage. So we're going to avoid that at all costs. Let's see. There's a drone down there, but we do have this enemy. We'll wake him up. Not really too concerned about getting any specific cut. If we get one, great. Now, getting the cuts is going to be important later on because some of the modifiers will make it extremely difficult for you if you don't get the cut, because it'll actually cause the enemies to explode. But we will see that as we encounter it. Now this next section, we have to step out basically almost right into the sun, but I have found out that if you just get this drone's attention, you can actually lure him back into the shadows, which is perfect. There we go. Now the goal here is we are just going to very quickly, I don't recommend running, or excuse me, I don't recommend jumping, just run very quickly. Get an endurance enhancer here. Oh, this guy has the spirited helmet, which is what we want. But we have to be very careful here because we also have a drone. I want to take him out first. Okay, now we can focus on him. Got to focus on just the head. Back up. And there's the cut. Beautiful. So there's the wrecked spirit animal headgear. We're going to talk more about the gear sets as we collect them. Another enemy here. Go ahead and knock him down. Take him out nice and quick. There we are. And next time I get some energy, I'm going to top off using my metavoltaic. So you do have to kill some enemies in order to proceed. For example, this gate wouldn't lower until we killed all them. But here's one of those shortcuts that will unlock in the next time through. So let's see what we can do here. Perfect. I wanted to lure them back here because the gate does shut behind you. And this guy doesn't have any head armor, so I think we'll just try and focus on that. But this drone is also coming. Back up. Okay, should be almost dead, taking a little bit of damage. Just do some dash attacks. There is the cut. We are still topped off. That's one of the more dangerous areas because it's very difficult to actually attack that enemy, because he gets you right away, and you don't have a lot of room to maneuver because you have the sun beating down on you.
Fired!
Vital injection. Let's see. Can we target? We can target him, so I think we'll send our drone out so we can get his attention over this way. Perfect. He takes plenty of damage just from being in the sun. And now we will simply run, take a little bit of damage, not much, easy to top off. Take care of this drone, and that will unlock the next gate. We're nearly through to the end. Store another drone charge, because why not? Now this area is a little bit frustrating because you have to run to that shadow. Unless, actually, you know what? I don't know why I'm not following the same tactic I always have. So never mind, just run in, get that one drone's attention, and you can kind of cheese it. And then run here to this shadow. Do a little bit of dancing here, stay out of the sun as much as possible. There's another lucky coin for us. So we'll just dash there, grab that. We do have this other enemy right here. Do you have anything for us? Well, nope. So we're just going to take you out. I think we'll just focus on the head. Cannot hurt any. And get out of the sun. Didn't drop any loot, so we'll just top off. And on to the next. Oh, just kidding. That's part of the shortcut. So the next section is this way.
Taken the way of least resistance.
And here we can actually turn the sun off.
Shame nor remorse. Cowboy cut corners. Again.
And in case we missed it before, this guy does have some more wrecked spirit animal. Oh, but we gotta watch for this guy. There it is. Get the clean cut. We have lots of health available for the boss coming up. And just in case you didn't get the Yosuka butterfly from the first section, this is another good opportunity to get it. There we are. So we have full health. We have a drone charge saved up. And now it is on to the boss.
I'm almost impressed.
However, you now have an option. You can see here, I have 3 lucky coins, so I can use those up in my attempt at the boss, or I can quit. if I stop now, all the loot that I've collected is mine. And there actually is a modifier that is only unlocked by doing just this. If you walk away, you unlock that modifier. I want to show you the first boss. With the bosses themselves are set per episode, but the modifiers that they use, as well as the weapon they use, is not. So you can see here, there's already a couple of other enemies out here. These are their stunt doubles. So as we attack the main boss, who's right in the saloon there, these guys are going to be dancing around as well. The problem is you can't target them. You can't kill them. You have to just focus on the boss, but these guys can and will do damage to you. So we're just going to focus on my metavoltaic. If I need a quick heal, I still have that, but let's go. And we're going to try to go for the weapon. Oh, and he is using one of the staff weapons, one of my favorites. Not my favorite to fight, that's for sure. And as you can see, it's very quick. And there's the stunt doubles coming at me. Time to back up. Get a little bit of damage. There's a free heal, though, from my metavoltaic. Backing up. The dashes are sadly going to be one of my go-to attacks here. So we'll just get a couple of pokes. Might as well use a little bit of drone action. Doesn't do much damage, but it does some. Oh, there's some damage from the stunt doubles. The thing with this fight is that because he uses the stunt doubles, he often has to stop and actually tell these guys to do something. Otherwise... Oh! Alright, we're going to top off there. Oh, don't let him heal. He will heal. If they drop to their knees, that means they are about to heal. Do not give him that opportunity. Alright, I need to start saving up some energy, though, because we are going to have to use it to get the cut. Back up. We are going to have the cut here momentarily. There it is.
The cowboy had killed the first of the glorious 12, a gang of ruthlessly effective and effectively ruthless criminals. He wondered how many more there were. Sadly, he wasn't the sharpest axe in the teepee.
So we've now gotten the wrecked spirit animal. We got the lowest of the staff weapons, the pattern 20XX infantry rifles, which has 20% energy gain, and then it is medium across the board, impact, attack speed, and proficiency scaling. So not bad. It's a fun little weapon, but even though it says rifle, it doesn't do any shots. And there is our vital boost for completing the episode. And now we can head on home. Here is all of our rewards. There's our tech scrap. Here come our implants. And some weapons. So let's talk a little bit about the gear that we just received. We just talked about the pattern 20XX infantry rifle. We also got the Rest in Peace, a single rigged weapon with very high impact, low attack speed, very low proficiency scaling, 40% energy gain, and we got 2 pieces of the spirit animal armor. If we have the full set and craft it, then we actually get a damage boost every time an enemy is hit, but it gets reduced anytime we are hit. Kind of a pretty cool little give and take. So that is the first episode. So before we listen to this audio log, let's take a look at what we've unlocked modifier wise. You can see we've actually unlocked 7 of them. And remember, we can choose 1 per row, up to 4 per episode. Now some of these do not work well together. We'll talk more about this as we go along. But you can see here, as we go down the line, each of them has a reward associated with it, and if you add any 2, you also get this bonus reward, the Golden Dylan hat. We'll talk about that as we actually do it. But we've unlocked Energy Dynamo, constant energy fluctuation, so your energy just goes all up and down throughout the episode. The Vintage, which is kind of fun. So all the colors are gone, it's black and white. You also get this old-timey music, and then every time you do a special kill, so you decapitate or remove a limb, you get this funny little cinematic script on the screen. Short fuse, if you don't cut limbs, the enemies explode. This does not pair well with Energy Dynamo, because with your energy always going up and down, you never know if you'll have enough energy to cut off a limb. That means that you may kill enemies and then they explode, which does some good damage, but it also stuns you and makes you very open to other attacks. Poltergeist, invisible enemies, visible weapons, lots of pain. So this one, the enemies truly are invisible, you can only see their weapons. Danger Close, dying enemies drop power cores, so the power cores that the big buddies in A Walk in the Park, all enemies drop these when they die. Arms Race, this one is really fun. You automatically equip whatever weapon the previous enemy was wielding. That can be a lot of fun. And then we also have Leech. Player and enemy steal each other's life. This is incredibly beneficial. This means you can go in essentially without any injectables, and you can stay pretty well topped off. But that is going to do it for that first episode. Let's listen to this audio log, and then I will close it on out.
Breaking news. At today's annual TV programming confab, streaming netlet Neuroflix yanked Western Skein Frontier Riders off its sked, only hours after the show's 7th season premiere. Former soap starlet Doris Chappell, known for playing stunning Shantusi Delilah, is openly campaigning on her Twitter account for wrapping the tale up with a final spash. But according to studio press Harry Bierstein, re-up chances ATM are NSG. Off-the-record sources tell us that recently fired head scribbler Oliver Sutton offed himself. Nobody else has been tapped to fill the void. More updates as this story develops. Stay tuned.
Well, with that audio log closing, one more thing I want to just mention is that as you unlock these doors, sadly they don't become a way of fast travel. So for example, that one at the far end, this is going to be the nucleus. But until we've completed all 9 episodes, we can't use this as a fast travel. Now, once you've completed all 9 episodes, you can. So you could go all the way from abandoned production all the way to the nucleus, but that's going to take some time. And believe me when I say that some of the later episodes and the modifiers can be pretty difficult. But that is going to do it for this episode of my walkthrough of The Good, the Bad, and the Augmented. I know this one was a little bit slower because we had a lot to talk about, but we'll get right into the action next time with episode 2. We might even run through episode 1 at the beginning of the next video just so we can show some of the modifiers before moving on. But if you learned something, as always, let me know in the comments below what you learned, and if I missed something, you have to make sure you put that as well so we can all keep learning. But I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.